emergency alarm on my phone, which like it jolted me out of the sleep, and I was like, that is probably the worst way to wake up, like to a warning going off on your phone. So that in of itself was bad. And at first I ignored it because I'm like, what's going on? I thought it was like an Amber Alert or something. But I look at my phone and I see, tornado warning. Also, I didn't realize, I feel like I'm used to a tornado watch. But y'all, tornado warnings are 10 times worse. It basically means that there either is a tornado or there's about to be one. So it was very scary, and honestly I was a little anxious in the moment, because I looked outside, and this is the thing, they say like they send the warning, because I looked it up, they send the warnings sometimes, typically about 16 minutes before it touches down. And I literally remember like hearing the alarm go off. It woke me up. I'm like, what's going on? Then the sirens outside start going on. I'm thinking like, are we at war? Y'all, that's so I just was like, I just didn't know what was happening. And someone on TikTok said it sounded like the purge alarms, which, yeah, it's pretty scary, but it's really just emergency response system being implemented so that people can, I guess, be aware of what's happening. So, anyways, the alarms was frightening, and I had to figure out like what if it was dangerous enough that I needed to do something. And based off of the warning, I was like, okay, well, let me at least go to a shelter just in case it's really bad, because you honestly just never know with tornadoes. Tornadoes don't necessarily follow a real pattern. It's like how they affect places. You can have one house get completely destroyed and the other house right next to it be completely okay. Like, tornadoes are crazy. Now, I do have a childhood memory of a tornado, and me and my sisters were outside picking weeds, and it started hailing like these huge golf ball size hail. Actually, some of them were like the size of an orange. Like, these were really big. It was a really big hailstorm. So that was very, very a scary experience that I had. Then we had and then like, because we were outside when it was happening, we all had to like run inside, and the house we lived in at the time had a basement, so we all just went to the basement. But I feel like sheltering is probably a little bit more, I shouldn't say enjoyable, but tolerable if you have other people with you. When you're just by yourself, I was like, I don't know what to do. So I just texted my mom and my dad and let them know, I was safe, but there was a warning, and I didn't know how bad it was going to be. Now, I was too scared. When that wind started, though, because when I first heard the warning, I look outside, I'm like, there's literally nothing happening outside. But then, like, within 10 minutes of that, you suddenly heard, like, huge wind. And according to the weather app, it was, like, 55 to 70 miles per hour winds happening. I was like, this is actually insane. So, all of that to say, I'm glad I was safe and protected, and my first response, of course, was to pray. Y'all, when I tell you, I was not about to risk not having protection. So I just prayed, and that helped me feel a lot better. And then I don't know, reading Bible verses about protection, listening to worship music, because it's a very scary situation to be in. Like I said, I've had tornado watches before, but never tornado warnings. And maybe I've had a tornado warning, but I just maybe slept through it and didn't take it as seriously as I maybe should have. But this experience was a lot for me, and I could not do that again. It was very extreme, very I don't know, just like worrisome. And then I saw some other people's video, and they were filming outside. It looked so bad. And from the time I got into my bathtub, because I got into my bathtub before the wind started getting really bad, because I said I'm not about to risk whatever. And so I started hearing the winds. As soon as I started hearing the winds pick up, I said, let me go ahead and get to the bathroom. And then I could hear it outside. It was pretty loud, but obviously there's like a little bit of muffled sound. But the weather is, I was thinking about this too. Like, we have hail, we get hail, we have fire, we have rain, we have lightning, we have thunder, we have snow, storms, like all of these crazy, and tornadoes. Like, isn't that so crazy how sometimes the weather is our biggest op? And you know what? It reminds me of the Bible. Because literally the first documented disaster according to the Bible would have been the flood. The flood in the Bible that wiped out pretty much the entire population. And it's just like, I feel like that just shows us how weather is maybe the most dangerous thing on the planet, more than even like, war and illnesses. I mean, I don't really know the statistics on that, but I mean, a lot of people can pass away in weather related injuries. But just the fact that in general the weather is capable of taking people out is just a crazy thing to just think about in general. Like, people can literally get injured from weather conditions, whether it's a fire, whether it's a hailstorm, whether it's a tornado, hurricanes, tsunami. Like, crazy thing. Crazy weather has very harsh and hard conditions for a lot of people. Okay, I'm almost at church now. I do have my coffee, so we're gonna enjoy that. Thankfully though, I'm safe. I don't see any like substantial damage to anything. I didn't look at the whole house, but I mean, I only really saw the knocked over trash can and a couple things knocked over on my back porch. A lot of people were saying like the tornadoes formed but didn't touch down completely. Why are you waiting for? Sorry, y'all. I need to have patience. I'm gonna just go ahead and let them go. I'm like, pedestrians always have the right of way if you're driving, right? So, the pedestrians were like stopping to try to let me come as a car, and I'm like, why are you stopping? You have the right of way. But obviously they're just being cautious. I need to not get annoyed every time I feel like people do things cautiously. Anyways, made it to church. I'm late, like 10 minutes late. I was supposed to be here literally 30 minutes ago.